Welcome back to a new video. I'm just going to do a quick update on most likely the cause of one of my pistons disappeared down in the oil pan. I took some pictures of the cylinder walls and the damages, and I sent it to some of my friends in the States because he used to live there. And one guy, he was saying, and I don't know why I didn't think about that, but I didn't think about it. But you have this, it's very long, kind of even damage here. And he said that that's probably from the wrist pin, which means that the wrist pin started to work its way out of the piston, and these wrist pins they're held in place with the lock ring. So somehow this is most likely the scenario that happened, that somehow that lock ring on one side of the pistons came out and the wrist pin started working its way out to the cylinder wall, and eventually the piston just broke in pieces. That's most likely what happens, because you can't find any other kind of cause for this damage. So this is just a little quick update on what happened, most likely happened with this cylinder and the piston. So let's get back to the main video. Alright, you're on Swedes Garage YouTube channel. We gotta make a new alternator bracket. Yes, let's do some recap here. This is that's the factory bracket that holds the AC compressor, the alternator, and it also holds some other brackets for the belt tensioner and idle pulley and stuff like that. So the alternator sits here, sits like this, and as some of you know that have been following me in my previous videos, you know that it's not fitting. So I'm not using the AC compressor, it's not going to be there. And this bracket that holds the power steering pump, among other things, I don't use the power steering pump either, so this bracket's, I don't need this bracket. You can get rid of that. But I do need the alternator. So if I put an alternator like that, I got room in the front. You won't hit anything. So I got to make a bracket down here for the alternator, and also I was going to use these two threaded holes here for the lower bracket, and I got two threaded holes up here that I'm going to use for the upper bracket. And then in a perfect world, I would make the brackets so the alternator is not adjustable. You just bolt it down and that's it. So I'm gonna try and see if I can make another bracket from some lowering, from these lowering threaded holes and I think this is threaded too. I haven't checked it yet, but if it's not, I can put threads in it and make a separate bracket down here for the belt tensioner. That would be, in a perfect world, that would be perfect. If I can use the factory belt tensioner. Then I haven't even checked yet to see if I can find any serpentine belts this short, because that's I think it was just about 700 millimeters or 760 millimeters for the belt. I don't even know if you can get that short ones with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 grooves. It's a 6-groove belt, but that's a later problem. Somewhere in the world it's got to be a belt that short. So let's start doing some brackets in this video. So I'm gonna see if I can find any material to use, and I'm gonna rig up the camera. So hang in there. Let's start working. I found this. This is from one of the mopeds that I junked. It's supposed to be the other way. It sits like this in the back, in the rear of the moped. And this piece in the middle, this is perfect to make the lower bracket for my alternator. So I'm going to cut this off and start making something. So this is what I've done so far. Alternator and some brackets. So I'm going to start doing some welding and see if we can get this to fit somehow on the block. So hang on there, hang in there. Like so. Just let that cool off a little bit. So let's put on this L bracket that I made over here. Like so. This is the hard part. You gotta get the wheel to line up with the wheel on the crank. Or the pulley, not the wheel, the pulley. The alternator pulley gotta line up with the crank pulley for the belt to stay on the pulley and not jump off when you're revving 6,000-7,000 RPM. So this is the tricky part. Oh, that's right. I got an angle iron here that I attached to the crank pulley. So I get a line here from the back side of the pulley. So I was thinking something like this. Need to tuck it in longer So we gotta make it a little bit taller to clear, unless I weld it on this end. Could do that. And I also gotta weld it lined up. So it doesn't get crooked. And what I mean lined up is this piece. We assume that this surface is this surface because it's supposed to be welded here, but easy to show here. So you gotta line up. Can't weld it on crooked in any way. It has to be lined up perfectly on here. So let's remove this one and get to the bench and see if I can come up with something. I cheated a little bit, so I made a mark here on this one, how much it needed to stick out from this plate here, the angle line. And when I mean when I'm talking about sticking out, it's like this. It can't be even here. You have to get out a little bit. And I wanted this as far in as possible to clear the alternator from the radiator support. But then the alternator, the casing is touching the angle iron here. So if I put it on up like this, I think that's gonna be enough. So five millimeter in. Yeah. Let's do a mark 5 mil in. I need to get a caliper that you can lock. So let's make this so you can see it a little bit better. Oops. There. That's where I need to weld this one. And weld it straight. Okay, so I spotted this in place off camera because the camera's in the way, and I did a quick test fit on the block, and it's too far in. I need to pull it out. I would maybe put it in the middle of this L bracket or L thing. You know, it's a bracket. So I'm gonna cut these spots and move it to the middle of it, and we'll see if that works. Okay, so I changed it. It's just spotted now in the middle. We'll see if it works any better. I gotta take off my earplugs. It sounds so funny when you're talking and you have earplugs in. So, let's see. It's pretty good with the line up. So it's still riding on here. Not much, just a little bit. I could just grind just the sharp edge here, which make that more of a round edge. I think you go free there. So, am I happy with this? The difference between the alternator pulley and the crank pulley is like 1/2 mil, I think. Or not. Hang on. Let's check with the thinner thing here, but it's far from straight. This is not straight, can't use this. Don't have anything else. Ooh. Well, I guess I just have to, I think I have to go this route, and in the future, if it throws the belt, I could always, there is room to shim it down here, to move it out like 1 or 2 millimeter. I think I have room to shim it out, but if it works this way with the belt, so let's do the upper one. I gotta figure out a plan for the upper one. I'm just winging it. I have nothing finished in my head. I just wing it as I go. Like so. I cheated you guys a little bit because when I did this on the engine, it's not enough room to put a camera in there. It was kind of behind the alternator and stuff. But this is what it looks like. I'm gonna weld it, and I'm gonna put some gussets on it so it gets strong. This is the upper bracket for the alternator, and as you already seen, this is the lower one. I gotta weld this one too on both sides, and I think this is gonna work. I'm pretty confident that it's gonna work. So I'm gonna weld this, and I bet all of you have seen a lot of welding before, so I'm not gonna video me welding it. So I'll get back to you guys when it is finished, and we'll see what it looks like. So let's see what it looks like. There you got the lower and upper alternator brackets. I don't think the upper one is not gonna break. That's maybe overkill, but why not? It's all just trash material I had laying around. And lower one, I'm not painting it now because I got a lot of other stuff needs to be painted too, so I paint everything at the same time, not here and there. But that's one thing I can check off on my list. So we'll see what I'm going to do next. And I even welded the nut in the back here, so I don't have to worry about that, because it's kind of not much room there when I did the gussets on it. On the lower one there's no way to weld the nut because it goes straight through the aluminum housing on the alternator. You got the alternator in place and crank pulley. I kind of wanted to make some kind of bracket so I can use an automatic tensioner for the belt. And this is Volvo's. It sits up here somewhere. I don't remember exactly where, but it's really big and clumsy. I don't really know. It's way too big. Can't use this. But since I'm saving all my junk stuff, this tensioner is from my previous Chevy Trailblazer. I replaced this because the bearing is shot in this tensioner, so I replaced it with a new one. So I saved this. I have no idea why I saved it, but that's just the way I am. And it's kind of easy to mount it. You have to drill a hole. If you, let's say you have a bracket, you drill a hole that this goes in the hole to lock it, and then you got a bolt straight through, and that's it. So it's a lot smaller. So I was wondering if I could use this one. It's got to be on this side. I have nothing to. It can't be on this side because I have nothing to attach it to. So it's got to be on this side. So first I got to check which way it works. The Volvo tensioner is better because you can actually lock it in like the position where you put the, if you lock it in the holes here, line up the holes here and put a pin in, that's where you put the belt on, and then remove the pin and it tensions the bolt, and it tensions the belt. So Chevy don't have that. So I gotta figure this out here. We got some lines here, and I know that they show if the belt is worn. So let's see if I can somehow lock this in place. Maybe drill a hole somewhere and put a pin in it. So I'm going to play with this for a little bit and we'll see what I come up with. Let's see how this works. So, where is it? Can you see it? I drilled a hole there. So let's put this in the vise and see if we can lock it with that hole I made. Let me move you over on the other side. There we go. So the hole is there and I made my own little pin. Can you see it? I made this pin. This is from an FM antenna, car antenna. It's really hard. There's no soft iron, soft material. So let's see. I haven't tried this, so this is first time for me and for you. So let's untension this with there, put this in the hole, and it's supposed to go around there, and voila, perfect. It's locked. Awesome. So now I can build some kind of bracket that holds it. Man, that took me like, what did it take me? 10-15 minutes to do that. I'm surprised that GM haven't done this from the factory. It makes it so much easier. Okay, let's get over to the engine. So where should I put it? Okay, so which one? I have to think here now. It goes tension is counterclockwise. The tension is counterclockwise. So it needs to be this way. It can't be this way. Would have been perfect. But then it's got no tension. It's got to be this way. And problem is coming really far out. Let's see here. I'm looking at the engine in the car. Well, we've got a lot of room here. Because I got a this oil cooler thermostat. I kind of wanted to use that. I'm going to have an aftermarket oil cooler, but I kind of wanted to use the factory thermostat. So I have to have that in mind too. But out here maybe. Maybe, baby. I think I'm gonna cut this one and see if I can use it somehow. I don't know. Maybe I need to get a belt first. So I have a belt too. This was counterclockwise, so it's got to be this, like this. I mean, I don't design engines and stuff. I don't know when they're designing an engine with the belt tensioner and stuff. What kind of how do they measure it and stuff? So I found some old belts hanging on the wall. I don't know, some are old and some are new. But if it's like this, so are you gonna do the belt so you just get it on and then you have the tensioner, tighten it. So how long of a belt would that be? If I do a rough estimate, let's see here. $77. I said 76 or 760 I said. But if you get a belt that's like 780, yeah, you might probably can get it on there. I think I have to get a belt before I can do the tensioner. $780. I gotta go online and see how much the belts are. $780 long, and then after I have a belt, I can build this. Build a bracket for a Chevy tensioner. Well, I thought I was going to use all Volvo parts for this build, but obviously, as you can see, the Volvo belt tensioner is way too big to be able to use here, and this, the Chevy Trailblazer, this is kind of neat. It's not that big, and he had everything on the Trailblazer. He had the power steering pump, the air condition. I think it even drove the water pump. So the tensioner is powerful enough to just keep the alternator and belt tightened for the alternator. But that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find me a belt first, and we do the tensioner brackets in a different video. So I think that's it for this video. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Subscribe, make some comments. If you make comments and if you like the videos, the YouTube algorithm will promote my videos more, which means I could get more subscribers, and if I get more subscribers, I might be able to make some money from YouTube, but you have to have 1,000 subscribers to be able to make money on the ads. But then the algorithm, and it has to do with a lot of things, a lot of subscribers, how many views you have, how many comments, how many likes, everything tied together. So but I don't expect all my viewers to understand that. I'm just asking you to click that subscribe button and the like button. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helped me a lot. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Alright. End of the video. The only thing left is to subscribe and hit that like button. Welcome back. See you in the next video.